Hello and welcome to this tutorial video. For this tutorial we'll be running through the solar thermal section. This will include design calculations and the compliance certificate. For the solar thermal calculations you will not need to complete the building calculations and therefore we can move straight on to the technologies area. Firstly, we need to start off with the design calculations, and this will start with some basic details about the survey. So surveyor name and date. These are not compulsory fields, but you can add in that information if you wish. Then goes on to some calculation data. Firstly, about the occupancy of the property. If the occupancy is not known, you'll then need to add in the total floor area of the building. If it is known, it will ask you for the number of full-time occupants and also the number of part-time residents. And an example of this would be if a person is away at university and they're only there for a certain number of days a year. Once you've added in that information, you'll then need to add in the panel orientation and panel tilt. Panel orientation is the degrees away from south. In this example I've put in a degrees of 45, so the panels will either be facing southeast or southwest. The compass should be used to determine the orientation in order to provide some accurate information. And also the panel tilt is the angle of the roof. The SAP region will be pulled in straight away for you based on the postcode you previously entered on the project details section. You're then asked to outline the overshading of the install, and this would be done in accordance with SAP. You've got 4 options to choose from: heavy, significant, modest, or none or very little. You then need to select whether there's electric showers within the property. So you can select non-electric, electric showers, electric and non-electric, or no shower, only bath. Then asked about the water efficient dwelling. This should be if the property is compliant with approved document G. You can also select no if it isn't. Then have 2 fields that are already pre-populated for you, and then the final 2 you need to select from the drop down about the backup heater type. You have a list of options to choose from, and then finally the RHI tariff rate. At the time of recording this it's 19.51 pence, but please check the Ofgem website to check the latest tariff rates. Once you've completed all that information, press the next button and it will then take you onto the equipment information section. Firstly, it asks for details about the collector, so manufacturer name, type and model. And then it goes on to some details about the collectors themselves. Total aperture area, first of all. This is the area of all the panels put together. So if you have 2 or more panels, it will be the collective area of them. This would be available from the manufacturer or on the test report, which is EN 12975. The following 3 options would also be available on there, but may be referred to as different names. The zero loss solar thermal collector efficiency may also be referred to as conversion factor. The heat loss coefficient A1 may be referred to as heat transfer coefficient, and the second order heat loss coefficient A2 may be referred to as temperature dependent heat transfer coefficient. For the heat loss coefficient and second order heat loss coefficient, you could search for A1 or A2 and it may appear in the test report for you. Once you've collected those details, you can move on to the next section, which is only for evacuated tube type collectors. So if you have that information, it should again be on the test report or the data sheet, and just look out for the symbols indicated here. Then it goes on to the cylinder details, again manufacturer name, type and model number to start with, and then goes on to some details which you should be able to find from the manufacturer's data sheet or manual. If you don't have those details, just contact your manufacturer and they should be able to supply you with them. And then finally the collector details, which is again manufacturer, type and model numbers. Once you've completed that information, press the next button again to save it and move on, and then it will move you on to the design calculations, which will calculate all the figures based on the information you've previously input. Once you've checked through all the information, you can press the print button and a PDF version of the results will appear for you to save for your project. Also, click the back chevron and it'll take you back to the solar thermal menu where you can move on to the MCS compliance certificate. Most of this information will be pulled through from the different sections that you previously completed, but just double check it as you move through the different sections of the compliance certificate. Press the next button to move through the sections just to confirm that you've checked and that the information is correct. So as you go through, some of the sections will have drop-down options for you. They have been set to default to the most common answer, but just double check them to make sure they're appropriate for your installation. As you go through, just make sure all the information is correct for your project. As you can see, some sections still need to be filled in. So in this case, the MCS certification number needs to be added for the panels that you've installed. Once you reach the confirmation stage, you just need to add in the name of the person completing the compliance certificate, their job title and the date. You can then press the save button and then also the print button to follow on from that, which will open a PDF version of the MCS compliance certificate, which you can then use to register the install on the MCS database and produce an MCS certificate for the install. Once you have all that information, obviously you'll then be able to register the install on the MCS database. If you do have any other questions on the solar thermal sections, please contact your consultant. But thanks for your time and thanks for watching.